time in Franklin County, and we're excited about this golden opportunity that we have, that we actually have a representative who thinks it not robbery to indeed to visit us in Franklin County. We're so excited. Yeah, and we want to thank you, the citizens of the county who thought it not robbery that you come out to see him and to indeed to be able to share with him some of your concerns and to ask him questions and to receive responses from him. We're just thankful that Congressman, that you took the time to come and see us, and especially on today, because this is we realize a lot of things that's going on in DC today, but you're here with us, and we thank you for that. So, Congressman, we're going to just open it up, and if there is anything in introductory remarks that you'd like to make before we open up to the public, that'll be fine.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I wonder if we could ask the sheriff and other elected officials just to introduce themselves so everybody knows who's here.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Franklin County Sheriff Kent Winstead.
Any other elected officials?
Emma Stewart, Lewisburg Town Council.
Art Grant, Mayor of Franklinton.
Cedric Jones, Franklin County Commission.
All right. Any other town officials here? Let's see, the town manager Franklin is here.
Greg, the town manager, Franklin.
Yeah. All right.
All right, thank you. I want to thank you for coming out. This is a great opportunity for me to get reacquainted with the county. I never totally forgot about Franklin County, but then again, it hasn't been in the 4th Congressional District for a good number of years. And it was very, very happily. I always enjoyed this county when I first got into office, and now it looks like once again it will be in the 4th Congressional District. I can't claim credit for doing that. The legislature does these things for their own reasons, but it's certainly a delightful prospect for me, and I hope, I certainly have had a good day today visiting all around, and I'm excited about the prospect. I want to introduce now a gentleman who's on my staff down in Raleigh, and I'm always happy to be called on, and Sarah Randall.
Crawford. This is how long y'all have known each other.
Well, that's a slip. Anyway, Sarah is a candidate for the state senate, which will be a district that includes Northern Wake County and Franklin County. So Sarah's traveled around with us today as well. Sarah Crawford, I got the name.
But we worked together when I was around.
Yeah, she was Sarah Randall, take my word for it. It was on my staff years ago. Well, Mr. Chairman, thank you. I think this would be a great opportunity, a good way to close out the day here with a chance just for a back and forth, any kind of questions anybody has that I might shed any light on, or any comments that you want to make about what we're facing going forward. This is a unique time for our country. We all know that. We got to be as responsible and level-headed and serious as we possibly can as we go through this period. I'll be returning to Congress next week and getting to work immediately on the budget for next year and lots of other critical legislative priorities. We whatever else is going on, we got a job to do in terms of what the country expects. And I'm North Carolina's only Appropriations Committee member, and now am chairman of the Transportation and Housing, THUD we call it, Appropriations Subcommittee. So that's a good position to be in. I'm happy to be there, pleased to be there, and have a lot of responsibilities associated with that, which take a great deal of my time and my staff's time. The budget process has, in recent years, all too often gotten bogged down, had threatened shutdowns and a lot of division. But at the end of the day, we have to have a budget, or the lights go out, and so that does tend to push us toward compromise and toward accommodation, and that's the way it should be. We don't have a country where any party or anybody gets their own way entirely. And so we work on those budgets, and we'll start the new cycle this almost as quick as we get back with hearings and hearing whatever the president has to say, getting the budget from him, and then pretty thoroughly reworking it, I expect. And that's how I'll be focused for the next months. In the meantime, many challenges facing the country in healthcare and public education and infrastructure. We need to get we keep saying this we really do it. We're gonna do it. Our leadership in the House now is determined to put forward a major infrastructure proposal. We hope the president will help us out, but whether he does or not, we need to take a full measure of our needs and put a proposal out there that addresses those, the need for not just highways, but for transit, for intercity rail, for airport development. I've just been out to the Franklin County Airport. Need to have some resources to bring these general aviation airports along, and also to develop our major airports like Raleigh-Durham with major needs that it's not clear right now how they're going to be addressed unless we do something different. So that infrastructure, broadband is part of infrastructure, rural broadband, small town broadband. That I think it'll be a major initiative this year, and we'll take it just as far as we can, and then it'll be, I'm sure, an election issue where people take stock of what different sides are offering, and hopefully we'll have an election result that lets us move forward and then with that and lots of other of our country's pressing needs. I don't think we want to take this country into a war in the Middle East, certainly without that being absolutely the last resort. I don't think it's the last resort right now. I don't think that's been established. So these questions of war and peace loom pretty large, and what the authority is to go to war. The presidents don't just go to war when they feel like it. Presidents go to war with the authorization of the Congress. And something that was passed 20 years ago to deal with Al-Qaeda isn't necessarily what does the job in our present circumstance. So that is also going to be a major area of discussion and debate, and I for one think that it should be. Our country's role in the world is very much under question now, and our diplomacy, our alliances, especially our NATO allies, these things need to be strengthened and not compromised. And so the challenge, I think, to our branch of government is to figure out how we assert ourselves and how we assert the national interest in a situation where we haven't always done that. The capacity of the Congress, the willingness of the Congress to step forward has not always been what it should be. But under the kind of challenge we're under right now, we need to figure it out. We need to figure it out quickly. It's a lot's riding on, I think. Our branch of government standing firm for America as a defender of democracy, America as a defender of human rights, America as a linchpin of the Atlantic Alliance. No question about where our country stands, and it's a real challenge, though, for our branch of government to figure out how we assert ourselves and stand up for that in these strange times. Let me just stop with that. There's lots of things we can talk about, but I appreciate the chance to get back in touch with Franklin County. We've had some good discussions today about economic development, about what's going on in the county, about everything ranging from public education to transportation to economic development. As I said, a visit out to the airport, visit over at Vance Granville Community College, looking at the high school, the special high school program, and also at the job training that community college offers. That's so important to attracting and keeping businesses here. Visited Novo Zyme's plant out in visited that years ago, so it was interesting to see the development there and how much that plant has grown. That's, I think, the largest employer in the county now, and one that plays an important role worldwide. So, good day, good to close it out with you and to have whatever kind of discussion you'd like to have. So let me stop with that and see what kind of comments and questions any of you might have. Thank you for being here. Yes, ma'am.
I'm Emma Stewart and I represent town Lewisburg. I guess our number one concern has to do with infrastructure and transportation, in US 401 North. We'd be very interested in seeing some appropriation from the federal government to help toward especially Section D. It has been postponed numerous times, and, Section C to Royal, should be complete in 2 years' time, but they are delaying the Section D now, to begin right-of-way acquisition in 2026 instead of 2022, and in construction starting in 2029, and it would be a game changer for Franklin County, especially northern and northeastern Franklin County, if we could have this road 4 lanes. We've already lost some interest in, from larger industrial, sites wanting to locate in Lewisburg. Once they saw that 2029 date, they said they just couldn't make it.
Well, some things don't seem to change, and that's one of them. The need to get that road work done and to have a first-class highway through from Raleigh and through the county and on north. And I know that's critical. At the federal level, we are not involved in making those specific decisions about where the funds are applied. That's part of the state's transportation improvement plan, they call it. And we count on that process to give priority to projects like this one. What does depend on the federal level is the kind of funding that we have and the kind of investment we make. And that is something I'm certainly committed to. We've been able, through what was a rather bipartisan process. It surprised some people, but we have been able for the last 3 years to get the funding for highways and for transit up above the levels in the so-called FAST Act, which is the